All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 3 of Black Popcorn. You know, uh, sorry it took so long, man, but scheduling conflicts, real life. But we got a full house today. We got John, Wes from the Smoking Section podcast. Got Slim Thugger down below Jamal, from Vulture Delivery, and we're doing another collaboration, man. We wanna talk about Sinners, man. We want to talk about that Ryan Coogler. I want to say this came out of nowhere, man. He came out of nowhere with a bomb, man, and really threw the vampire genre on his head, man, with this flick right here, man. You know what I mean? What's y'all initial thoughts of Sinners, man, before we take a little deep dive into this thing?
So, it's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, bro. I ain't even gonna care. Like, that movie, it was good. There's some things I can nitpick about it, but overall, it was a damn good movie, man.
Yeah, I agree with my bro. I'm saying it was a good movie, Joe. Like you said, Joe. There's some things that, like, you know what I'm saying, Joe. I can see them like, oh, I ain't like this part about the movie, but overall, it was good to me.
I really enjoyed it. It was pretty hyped up going into it.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed the vampire lore anyway, Blade, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, stuff like that, originals and all of that stuff. So I've always been into the vampire lore. I've always been a fan of Ryan Coogler. So I expected it to work, and it was great.
Now, for people who haven't seen it yet, man, this is gonna be a spoiler. Listen, man, this been out since June, so
this really ain't a spoiler episode. It might be a spoiler for you.
Right.
But it's not really a spoiler episode. It's been out. It's been pretty popular. Everybody's been rushing to see it, whether it's in the theaters, whether they're streaming it, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, if
If
you
you
ain't
ain't
on
seen it, what you doing here?
what you doing here, yo, go watch it. Come back and holler at us.
Come on.
Yeah, I would say, man, please do.
This
I'll
been out
say,
since April 18th. So
man. So,
come
Joe,
on.
so if you ain't seen the movie since April, Joe, then something definitely wrong with you, then, bro. On the real.
But I would wager anybody watching this saw Sinners probably twice.
Yeah, obviously, because I know I'm one of them right there.
You know,
Man,
I know some
I've
people.
seen
I know
this.
some people that seen it 3 times.
yeah.
I've seen it twice so far, man. And um I want to say my first viewing, I loved it, man. Because honestly, I didn't do whole lot of research going into the film. I just saw it. I want to say raw. I just put it on, and it kept me engaged, man, for the whole runtime. You
Yeah.
know,
Me too. I'll say, like you said, Joe. I was when I first saw it, Joe. I'm like, okay, all right. From the beginning to the end, I'm fully invested into this movie.
I mean,
Mm.
I think it was easy to stay engaged. Got so many different good parts of it. You know,
Yeah.
you got the great actors and actresses in it. You know, the star Michael B. We see a twin version of him. You know, we seeing twins and stuff like that. So that's cool. That's our first time seeing Michael B. Jordan doing something like that. You know, I've always been a fan of Michael B. Jordan, for
Yeah,
real.
me,
Since
Yeah.
Where's Wallace, I've been a fan of Michael B. You know, all my Wyatt
Yeah.
fans know what I'm talking about. Y'all caught that. But so you got, you know, Michael B and the rest of the cast, the supporting cast and stuff like that. You have the music, right, which is actually a big part of the movie. So that soundtrack, that music is hitting. Funniness, you know, the little comedy. It's a horror, but it's some comedy in there too, you know, and that relatable comedy, you know that. So yeah, it's real easy to stay engaged. It was a great movie.
Mhm. And I
Yeah.
also want to throw out some numbers before we start talking about the plot. This movie made 277 million domestically in
mm,
the United States and Canada, and worldwide it grossed 364 million. So that's not bad, man.
yeah. I was saying that's not bad at all.
It definitely exceeded expectations. You know, people were projecting this movie to do about maybe 200 mil, maybe 220, but you know,
Right.
it did numbers,
They
man.
doing, they doing MCU numbers.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And actually I think it did better than what's that last what's that MCU movie that
What,
came out?
Thunderbolts?
I was saying
No,
right. I'm saying yeah.
mm-mm. It was
Thunderbolts.
it was
Brave New World?
before that one. It was one that flopped, man. That did terrible at the box office. I can't remember what it was.
Probably the Marvels.
Yeah, I think the Marvels flopped, man. That definitely
Oh
didn't
yeah, I wasn't. Yeah,
do. Nah, man. And look, we might do an Ironheart review on the TV series. You know, we'll see if y'all want that. We might do that. Um, but you know what? Let's get into the cast of this movie, man. It's a mostly black cast. A lot of
Yes.
good actors, man.
I mean, you know, with a lot of Ryan Coogler's movies, it's mostly black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I
Like you
can't
said,
think of the old drunk dude name though on the real that played the piano. I like him.
Delroy
Lindo.
Uncle Slim.
He an all star, yo. He an
Yeah,
OG
man.
man for
He
Legend.
real.
never, he never,
Lindo.
he was slim. He never had a major role in a movie, but he was always in some movies and some secondary
Yeah,
roles.
He
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
talk, man, for real. I mean, he was West Indian Archie. He West
He was
Indian
the
Archie,
daddy. He was the daddy in Crooklyn.
Daddy in
Mm-hmm.
Crooklyn.
Yep.
Um, he was the cop dude in the Jet Li movie, the one that was chasing
He
Jet
was,
Li.
he was in Malcolm X.
What?
Right.
Yeah,
Wait.
he played West Indian Archie.
Yeah. Wasn't he that also in that film with Omar Epps and damn and that dude from Naughty by Nature? Was that? Can't
You
remember the name
talking
of that
Trent?
movie.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
First Time Felon. He was a villain.
Yeah.
First Time Felon. Um, Romeo Must Die. Another movie he was in with in Jet Li. He played Aaliyah Pops in Romeo Must
Mm-hmm.
Die.
I mean,
He was in the Five Blood.
he's been acting since the early '70s. Dude,
Yeah.
credits go too long. Like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
But yeah, he
And
definitely an all-star, yo.
yeah,
Yeah,
but you know the funny thing is, even though Michael B. Jordan is, he's probably I guess he'll be the lead man for this film. Really, the main character is really the Sammy.
Really? Yeah.
Is Miles Caton. He plays Sammy. He's really like the the center for this movie. You know.
He's the reason why they came, why Remick and them came.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
he did his thing too, man. He definitely did his
Mhm.
thing, man. Talented brother.
yeah. I think he like 20 years old. He would have been in a handful of movies, so he a
Hmm.
new actor.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
definitely impressed with
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
He
performance. I'm definitely
can sing
impressed.
too. If that's really him singing. That's really him singing
Hmm?
and playing the guitar and
yeah,
everything. Yeah, yeah, he did
yep.
that for real.
Talent right there, homegrown
Yeah,
talent. And this movie takes place in was it? I know it's in what 1932. Um,
Yeah. Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Clarksdale, Mississippi. Right,
no, Mississippi.
man. So how'd you feel like the way the movie opened up, man? Because we opened up to a very, it caught me off guard because we see Sammy all bloody and everything in the church, and we're like, wait, what the hell? And then we flash back to, we go back a day before, and then we kind of start the movie off that way, man. Um, caught me off guard, man. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on
So
here, but let me keep watching.
when I the first scene I watched, I'm like, all right, this is definitely flashbacks because they show the scene like that, and then you can see the scars and everything, right?
Hmm.
Like, all right, but what made me jump back to the first scene was, once it was established that the vampires need to be invited in, right? I was
Yeah.
thinking, then in the beginning of the first scene, didn't the pastor, because I didn't know it was his pops yet, you feel me? In the first scene, I'm like, didn't the pastor, his pops, say, come on in? Like, he stood at the door for a minute before he was like, come on in. But
Hmm.
then I realized, though, the sun was up. So,
The
I would
first
say,
thing I noticed when you came into the church, I noticed it was three crosses. One on this side, one on the top, one on this
yeah,
side. And that's for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's the
yeah.
first
I
thing I noticed.
didn't even peep that, brother.
yep.
I didn't
It's
even
three
peep that.
crosses.
Okay.
As soon as you open the door, it's three crosses right there.
Mm. So like the Holy Trinity. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
I didn't catch that. I gotta watch that again. Good eye, man. Now when when the when the father he's talking to Sammy, he said, you know, be careful, playing music in the world, man, because the devil might follow you home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you might invite evil into your life doing that thing. Do you think because right after that, right? I think uh the
That's
twins
when
pull up and
yeah,
they
I was that's
pick up
when twins
Sammy,
came
right?
in. That's when twins came in.
Do you think that they're the evil they're the real evil in this movie?
No,
As far as
I didn't.
how it relates to Sammy, because Sammy, he's in the church. They, they in the streets, man. They doing they dirt.
All
Yeah.
right, so we'll go ahead, man.
Now you go ahead.
I was gonna say like I didn't see it that way because Sammy was making his own choice from the jump. He even told, you feel me? What was it, Stack?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. He even told Stack when Stack like, man, you need to da 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 da, you know. So Sammy had already made his choice. You feel me? Like most of us do at that age, right? Somebody trying to tell us something. I'm good. I know what I want to do. I got my plan. So I ain't really get it from like that, but I do think the callback was when Remick do pull up. He see Sammy, he like, yeah, we came for you. You feel me?
Mm.
Oh, so I think that was a callback, you know?
That was interesting, right? I don't want to jump too far ahead because that happened like towards the third act, but that did catch my attention. Like that the vampire did point out to Sammy, like, yeah, we
right,
really want you, man. And I'm
right.
trying to,
Hold on, I'll be right back, yeah.
yeah.
All right.
So that that kind of caught my attention. I'm like, man, why they want him so bad, But
I
you know,
I was kind of like in the same boat with you too, though. Gary, I I was kind of I want to jump ahead of the movie like you said, but when they did came and they heard them sing, I was like, oh man, I'm like, oh, like, hey, they came to the door like, hey, we want him. We don't want to mess with y'all. We want him. We want the singer.
mm-hmm. So there's something special about him, man. But
Yeah,
we gonna get to that, man.
I hate to be picky, man. I know it's a movie
Facts,
and
man.
they got a certain amount of time or a lot of time, and you have to squeeze everything in the movie. But I would like a little bit more backstory on Smoke and Stack. They just popped out of nowhere.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got flashbacks, callbacks here and there, but I like a little bit more character development when I watch movies. That's one of the things I don't like about the movie, but it's still a good movie. Though.
I say,
Yeah.
the other two, I think they kind of show how the other two had gotten involved. Are the husband and wife? They kind of show how them two got involved with it during the movie. How he turned them. I should say. There we go. How he turned them.
Okay. Now, as far as what you saying, Ma, yeah, I feel like they could have took maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes, maybe did a flashback to Chicago, show how they, because it was a little confusing. I mean, because they kind of established that they were successful up there. They were doing their thing in Chicago. They made a lot of money, and they left. They had to leave. Because I think the mob was on their tail or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
implied. Like it's never said, but it's implied. And the article that we was discussing, and that's like a callback or a little Easter egg to what they was talking about when like you were saying, when it's heavily implied that they on the run, like they ran from Chicago and they had to leave and stuff like that. And you can see how
You want me to bring those up while you get
well,
into that?
you could bring up the one where they talking about bank robbery. So they got one on a bank robbery, and I guess that's heavily implied that the twins did that bank robbery before they left and went to Chicago. Because they're like, two mass assailants come in, rob the bank, and it's heavily implied that they use that money to get to Chicago. Now, when they're in Chicago, when it's Stack like, I got that Irish wine and that Italian wine and that Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, this one right here is
My bad. You want to bring the other one up, or you want to?
Yeah, can you bring the other one up, please?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Right here. That's the one I'm talking about. Bank robbery rocks Clarksdale. Right, two masked criminals on the loose. So it's kind of heavily implied throughout the movie that this bank robbery was the twins, and they used that to get to Chicago. You know,
Mm.
and could do whatever they could in Chicago. So now, while they're in Chicago, it's clear that each twin worked for a different worked for a different side because Stacks Smoke had the fedora, didn't he? And
Mm-hmm.
Stacks had like the little Irish cap,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that
you
fedora,
got a backwards, bro. Smoke had the flat cap,
the flat Smoke had the
like the
flat cap. Yeah, Smoke had the
yeah,
flat cap and Stacks had the fedora. So
yeah.
just their style, you could see that Stacks ran with the Italian mob and Smoke ran with the Irish mob just by how they was dressing and stuff like that. But there's another article that talks about how the Irish and the Italian mobs are both at war.
Yeah, I
So
got it up right here on the screen.
that's the bank
It,
robbery
it,
one.
it was also heavily implied
Oh, I
that
didn't.
Stack had got off on Al Capone because Al Capone got locked up in 1931, and this movie take place in 1932. And
32.
Capone and them, he was fucking around in Chicago too.
Bam.
Right, yeah.
Yep. Gang tensions rise in Chicago. Irish mob and Italian mafia clash. So all of that liquor, the hooch and everything, the Italian wine and the Irish whiskey, the smokestack twins, they robbed both mafias and made it look like, and started that war and got the hell up out of Dodge. At least that's what it's implied. You get what I'm saying? It's never, but if you watching the movie and you see this, it's easy to put two and two together, and I like that. All of these articles is actually on the if anybody want to go and check it out, it's on the Spotify Sinners playlist, like the soundtrack. If you go to Spotify and stuff like that, you can go
All
ahead,
right.
that'll be up there too.
And you had
Yep.
another one. I'm gonna bring that up right now. Yeah, another article.
Because when they was at the train station, what he said, where you get all this alcohol from? Capone.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's heavily implied that them boys robbed Al Capone before y'all locked up, slid
Yep.
back home really quick. Where they get all that booze from?
Yep. So this article right here is, I guess this is the actual arrival of Remick in America, because this takes place on a Monday, August 1st, 1911. But it says early this morning, dock workers discovered the wreckage of the Celtic Hare, a ship that had arrived overnight carrying Irish immigrants. Upon boarding, they found blood-soaked decks, burnt remnants, and a haunting silence. There were no survivors. So with the burnt remnants, maybe Remick came with other vampires, but they ain't survived, but Remick did, and they killed everybody
Mm.
else, or whatever the case may be. With this, it's pretty much the arrival of Remick in America. And he been here, like the movie takes place in 1932. But this article is 1911, so Remick been here for quite some time before the actual movie.
And I don't want to jump too far, but we see the Indians, the Native Americans, they're hunting them down.
Choctaw, the Choctaw,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, they
The
were hunting them
Choctaw.
down.
And there's a fan theory that's starting to bubble that the Choctaw may actually be werewolves. And when they said the sun was going down, they wasn't really saying it, because of Remick or anything, because maybe the moon would have turned them or something like that, and they knew. But that's just a fan theory. None of that is proven or anything like that. But that's
I
a little
like
bit
it
more
though.
into the movie. That's a little bit more into the movie.
I
I
like
like
that
it too. Yeah, I like it too. Yep.
because that kind of because Ryan Coogler directed it, he's connected to the MCU. This got me thinking, damn, you could probably fit Blade in this whole thing somehow. Because
I
And
thought
Sinners,
I
Nah,
thought about the
bro.
same thing
She
too.
does. She
I
I
thought
think
about
you
does.
can
yeah,
hop
I thought
late
the
into
same
She
this,
thing.
does the
man.
wine, bro.
You know,
This
but
movie
Now,
gonna be a
right.
wine, bro. It ain't gonna be no sequel, no prequel. So this is it right here.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's always fun to throw out these theories, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so we get to this part. So right now, you know, Sammy, he meets up with the twins. You know, he's kind of enamored with them. He's like, man, y'all living the life, man. Y'all do basically doing whatever y'all want. Y'all got all this money. You know what I'm saying? He just wants to play his music, man. He's like, look, I just want to play my music and get heard and just, you know,
Get recognized.
get recognized. And he doesn't really, you know, I think in the back of his mind, he's listening to what his pops is saying, but he's like, man, I hear you, man, but this is my dream.
But
So,
it's something that his pops know, but he doesn't know. And I don't even think his pops like know exactly what he is, but his pops have an idea of how powerful his son's music is. That's why he wanted him.
mhm.
Sammy, like you said, Sammy just want to sing. Sammy is oblivious of no fault of his own of the power that he has, and it's shown to us later on in the movie.
Mhm.
And it's also shown how dangerous it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also like to think that his pops is aware of, because he mentions the devil a lot. So I like to think his pops is kind of aware of all these supernatural
Man, his
forces
pops
in
is
the
a preacher,
world.
you know. He's a preacher, son of a preacher man, you
Yeah,
know.
Preacher boy.
Choir but preacher boy, you know.
but I just felt it was like almost
Okay.
uh he
I got
almost prophesized like, damn, you know what was gonna happen. So I was just a little eerie. I was like, man, you know. So
Foreshadowed it.
foreshadow it definitely.
He foreshadowed it.
Um, so I think we get to the point where they meet up with Delta Slim. Wait, did they
They decide to split because you know there's another. They go to get all of the stuff that they had, right?
mhm.
And it's also, I guess you could say, a foreshadowing is when Sammy went to go pull the what's the name off. It was a snake right there, you know.
Yeah.
So
Right. It was a snake in the truck.
you know, if you really want to go deep into it, which you know, it's just a scene to me. But some people, you know, are saying that's another foreshadowing or warning to Sammy, like pump your brakes, kid.
You know
You
how
Yeah,
people gonna do it.
I
You know
think
how
that was
people
deliberate
do
though. I think
yeah,
that was deliberate, you know, because um, I like to think that scene that's kind of the divine presence, kind of, you know, giving them a warning, like, look, man, you know,
could
you're in
be.
the midst of the snakes, man.
Or it could have showed, or it could have been to show how in tune the twins was. Cause what one of them grabbed it, right?
And just yeah,
And then
cut.
you know, fine, he
Mhm,
cut it, you know. So they was definitely in tune until you know.
mhm. And I think at this part we meet the ex girlfriend Mary, right? Stack. He meets his ex girl.
First we see
it.
first we see,
Man, she played by a girl named Haley Steinfeld, and people in the comments they might not know she married to a football player named Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that's his woman. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've never seen her before.
and she was a little girl in True Grit for all my Western fans. She was a
you
little
know what?
girl in True Grit, and she
Ooh,
was Kate Bishop in Hawkeye.
I knew it. I knew she was Kate Bishop.
all right, all right.
I knew that was Kate Bishop,
You
yo.
know what? I never watched Hawkeye. Because you know I hate Hawkeye, so I've never seen
It's it's
You,
alright. It's
you
not
hate
bad.
you hate Marvel, period. You hate Marvel, period.
it. I hate Hawkeye. I like Marvel, but I hate that dude.
Man, that's a whole nother.
Garbage character. But okay, she definitely when she was on screen, she definitely had a lot of sass to her, bro. She was like she stood
Yeah.
out to me. Like,
Ellie Steinfeld, she alright too.
hmm
Yeah.
I mean, the character itself that she played definitely is used to his lifestyle. She's not, she's not intimidated.
Sammy met old girl first, then she came. What's the black girl name?
Perlene.
Arlene.
She was playing by an actor named Jamie Lawson. She was the mayor in Batman.
mm,
Y'all seen the Batman movie with Pattinson?
I couldn't. I ain't seen it.
I remember it. I Okay, I forgot
Well,
that she was.
you seen the Penguin? She was the mayor, the black lady.
She was. Yeah, I don't remember that. I did see the penguin though. I just don't remember the mayor like that. Damn.
So you probably been seeing the Batman there.
Nah, I ain't see that movie. That movie was too long for me.
Yeah, we might touch on the Batman one
She,
day.
she, she, she a good actress though. She good. Jamie Lawson.
Yeah,
hmm
she good.
Yeah, and so I think after we meet Sammy meets.
I'm saying
Oh, go ahead, Wes.
my fault. Can you? I would say, but at the train station, I'm saying we get introduced into three more characters. And the old drunk, the
Delta Slim, yeah.
yeah, Delta Slim, the
Yeah.
baby girl, the
Perlene
white chick,
and Mary, right? Mary was her name?
Mary, that was
and her.
Stack's girl, ex girl. Um,
Yeah.
you know what's funny though? Like, it's kind of crazy that liquor back then was such a strong form of currency. Like, if you had some premium liquor, man, you can get some things
Yeah.
shaking, man.
So
I
was
ain't,
that
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Somebody I might have to correct me, but was that the prohibition days?
I think this was the oh
mm,
my god.
It was
32.
after,
I'm not.
it had to
It
be
could be.
after prohibition because like Jamal said, um Capone was locked up.
hmm
So it had to be after
I'm
prohibition.
not sure.
Yeah.
I had to look that
Prohibition
up.
was the 20s.
In
Probably,
kayfabe, Capone was locked up a year before this movie came out.
yeah.
It just don't fit together. Capone was an Italian gangster fucking around in Chicago. Twins
Yeah.
came from Chicago
Yeah.
the next year, and it was said at the train station too. What y'all boys, Rob Capone? So, what I mean?
Yeah, so basically, they got all this bread and all this money. What the twins are essentially trying to do, I guess, open up their own spot, I guess
Juke joint.
a juke joint, yeah, Um and after they convince Delta Slim to, come perform, they go into town and they meet up with the 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 Asian couple, Grace and Bo Chow, right?
Yeah.
The Chinese shopkeepers.
Yeah.
Um, this part right here, I don't want to nitpick, but I'm like, man, how accurate is this with because you have Asians and they have a southern twang, I'm like,
I
I
mean,
don't think
it
there
was
was Asians at that time,
That was real. That was real. That's why I said that shit kind of accurate because a lot of Asians that came over to America back during those days, they had that southern speaking, what I'm saying, voice or
English
whatever.
was on point too. It was just
because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like I don't know like about those characters, but something like me, right? I'm in the
Yeah.
South, live in the South, but born and raised in New York. But sometimes when I talk, little southern slang, or you feel me, a southern word to come out. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Myself. But I've been down here for like 15 years, 14, 15 years, you know? So maybe that could be it too. You know, you get a
So
little bit of that.
imagine them Asians. They was born over here, or came over here, and was born here, and grew up here.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know
The
what I'm
ones that was
saying?
born
That's
here and
why.
grew up here. Exactly. Yeah,
That's
yep.
why
So
they
they
sound. That's why
definitely,
they sound like that. And you see, they had stores on both sides of the street.
yep. Because so the accent, right? Southern accent, northern accent, New York accent, Baltimore accent, Boston, and all of that. Like, to me, all of that has to do with the culture of the city, neighborhood, or whatever. Is really that culture. It's not really like race, because like Jamal said, if you take, you know, an Asian and you drop them off, they born in Brooklyn, right? Never been, you know, where their parents or their grandparents from, but they was just born in Brooklyn and stuff, and only grew up around Brooklynites and stuff like that. They gonna have that swag. They gonna have a New York culture, you know.
Yeah. See,
It
during that
probably,
time in the 30s, it was a lot of Asians that was over here. That was normal. What wasn't normal was the Irish. Irish people came over here. They wasn't even considered white, even though they might
yeah,
look like on the outside. Irish was considered second class citizens at that time in the 30s.
yep,
That's
yep.
true. It's just I have to look more into. I'm not because I'm like, damn, really was, especially in Mississippi. I was like, man, Asians.
Yeah,
Hmm,
I'll say
people in the comments gonna tell you it's real shit.
okay.
I'll say
Yeah.
with this movie, I kind of saw like I kind of got the Mississippi kind of hate Chicago vibe a little bit.
Mm,
I mean, maybe not like the hate Chicago. I ain't really get that vibe. But it was, you know, it was said a lot throughout the movie. Like, y'all went to Chicago, and you
Yeah,
know, and it was either, yeah, you got yourself into some trouble, or you know, you got family. Like, yo, y'all went to Chicago, two twins, y'all made, you know, straight from Clarksdale and doing this and doing that. It was just like it was known as the big city. You feel me? It was
Yeah,
known as a
yeah,
lot more opportunities. But like how Delta Slim and other people might perceive it, it's also a place where you could fuck up at any moment. You feel me? So,
hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I think so. After that, right? Smoke. What? I think yeah. Smoke meets up with. I guess this is like his
I'm saying
wife.
I think now we go to the part where he met. I forgot what's his not smoke. What's other brother name? Damn.
Stack.
that
Yeah,
Talking about
Stat.
Stack.
He met the voodoo chick.
No, that was
now that's smoke.
that
That's
was
smoke.
Smoke.
That was
That was
smoke.
yeah Smoke. I was trying to think if that was his wife because I don't know if they made that clear in the movie.
No, that was his ex. They had a kid together that died. That was
Right,
Yeah,
referenced in the movie. That was
right.
his
They had
ex.
that kid that diad. Yeah.
But
yeah.
were they ever married? I think that's what he's asking.
Because I don't
Like,
know if
were
No,
it
they?
was clear if that was his, what was going on. But I know that was his woman. I don't know if they
Yeah.
was married or at one point, but
her name, her name was Amy in the movie, and she was played by an actress named Mamasuko or something. She was one of the agents in Loki and Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's
The
who he
black girl with
was.
the flat top.
I
Yep.
knew I
Yep.
seen it somewhere. I knew
Yep.
I, yo, I like
Ryan
that.
Coogler. Ryan
Yeah.
Coogler be casting. Yeah, Pete Ryan Coogler. He be casting. But she was that agent in Loki with the flat top,
Yep.
and
I
she was
like
in
that.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah,
I
what's
like
her name? Wami Manasuku or some shit like that.
that.
So
So
she. Well, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say she does they in the movie they call it hoodoo.
Yeah.
She does like this she practices it, you know, and
Yeah, yeah,
she she gives Smoke this necklace, right?
yeah.
Or did he already have it? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I
Nah,
think he
nah,
still
he
had it.
already had it.
He already
He
had it,
already
right?
Yeah,
for
he already had it.
protection.
Yeah.
Um, Now, what I like about this scene in particular is that it's kind of setting up that this is not traditional like vampire. Well, you know, we get some garlic, we get some holy water, and we'll be fine. Nah, they don't. They introducing something new, uh, I'm gonna say like African, maybe Haitian
All right. So
spiritual.
hoodoo, as I understand it, you feel me? I ain't as I understand it, which is very limited, but it's pretty much like it's really not a religion. I don't think it's more of a practice. You know, was really developed by enslaved Africans, African Americans. That's exactly where it comes from. You know, in the South and stuff like that. That's to my knowledge. What hoodoo is, you know, they do the little workings and root work. It's also called root work. You know, that's another name for it. It's very looked at as bad, you know. It's
Yeah.
looked at black magic. You know, a lot of people stray away from it and stuff like that. Um, and that's pretty much what I know of it. But it it's it's portrayed in a better light in this movie, which is kind of cool. You know, with so
Yeah.
many being afraid of it, it's portrayed in a much better light. Like G was saying, she was talking about how that bag kept him safe. Um, and we don't know if he believed it or not, but later on down the line in the movie, we see that it's actually very significant. You know,
Yeah.
it's very significant to him and to their relationship. We see that later on down the line, you know.
Yeah, I was looking into it a little bit. Like the traditions, like you're right about that. It was enslaved African Americans who
Hmm.
practiced it. But it does seem to come from Central Africa, like the
Yeah.
actual root of it.
Hmm.
And it's like a loose set of spiritual traditions and beliefs, you
Yeah.
know. But I like that he threw that in there, man. It kind of, it's like a different take on the vampire lore, like
Yeah.
the garlic and all that bullshit doesn't really work on them, but these hoodoo practices are effective. I was like, oh, all right, that's something new. I like
Yeah.
that. So we get to the part where um we get introduced to the
Cornbread.
villain at this point. We Remick.
Remake.
We get to see him in action, man. What do y'all think about Remick?
Well, I mean, he played by a nigga named Jack O'Connell. He was in 300. Little nigga
Okay.
that was in the fight.
Mm, it's been a while since I seen him, man. I was digging. I was like, I like the way he came in with it, man. He came in
Yeah.
smooth, like the devil himself, man. Just real slick talking, real
So
charismatic.
what I like about Remick is I don't even know if anybody noticed it, but Remick actually there was a little bit of symbolism there. Remick's entrance. Remick didn't run in. If you watch the movie, Remick came from
Right.
falling
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. He did. Yeah. Yeah.
Remick came from falling down, smoking and stuff like that. He did not run in. He didn't crawl from nothing, and he didn't run in. He came from falling down. So that could be looked as a symbolism as the fallen angels, or something like that. Some type of law like that. But I thought that was actually pretty cool on Coogler's. Like I peeped that. You feel me? But
Hmm.
another thing that I liked about Remick was, he trying to get in, and he played to the racist nature of them. Remick is a vampire. Remick don't give a shit about race like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he seen, so what he said, yo, yeah, some engines, you know, and just played to them to be able to get them to sympathize with him because of their racist, thoughts and beliefs and stuff like that. He was able to play them, get them to invite him in, and then we all know what happened. So Remick off the rip.
Persuasive. I got money. I ain't got much. They took it from me. I got money.
Like off the rip, he playing on,
He's
and
playing
it
into
just
their
shows.
vices,
Yeah, it just shows how your vices, your blindness, our faults within ourselves, that shit could fuck us up. We in our own way. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And now, do you think? Now, this is just a question I had. Do you think that him being a white Irish vampire, do you think there's some type of symbolism going on with that? Like, because our main cast are African American, we have the villain, white Irish vampire, just surface level. Like, do you think what do you think Ryan Coogler is trying to say there? Like, do you think there's anything to that, or you think?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. I think that was allegory for cultural appropriate. Well, sometimes come on, work with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Cultural appropriation? Do you think they
Cultural
trying to do that?
appropriation. Yeah,
Okay.
because Remick makes it very clear, right? When I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit. We still gonna go through the movie, but matter of fact, I don't know what Remick is after. Once he make it known what he's after, we see the allegory for cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
He wants Sammy for his musical, what he can do with his music.
Mm.
Like that's not an allegory for that. I don't know what is.
Hey man, I mean, it almost harkens back to the I think we touched on this before, the music industry, how it got taken over by
Oh,
wealthy white corporate executives, who saw opportunity.
I was
That
thinking that. I was thinking about that as I was watching the movie. When that part happened, I'm like, okay, all right. Now, the white culture hear this black music, hear this black man singing blues, and all like, oh, I hear money, I hear money, I hear money now. Okay, let's go. So let's
Or
go find what is let's go find what his money at. You know what I'm saying? Let's go find what his good music at. No, and let's try to recruit him to us.
that was definitely a allegory for that, But damn, do the Indians come after? Do the Choctaw come after? Or
yeah,
I was like, just at one time. I was like, just at one scene right there. That's it.
yeah, and that's all they. I think that's a
Yeah.
lot.
They was like in their language, shit, if he in there, may God be with you.
Yo, y'all know, it was like memes and everything, and these people made up a good point all across social media when Sinners came out. They was like, and I dig it, yo. Choctaw came in there, hey yo, you looking for such and such, blah 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 blah. Y'all seen him?
Hey, but
You feel
but,
me?
but also too though.
Look, all right, that's it.
I'll say
I ain't about to go back and forth with y'all, yo.
right. Yeah. I'll say. But
We ain't see him for the rest of the movie.
yeah.
they good. They out. They like, man, it's our problem now, man.
That's y'all
All
problem
right, just
now.
part of it. All right. We done with you now. We done with you.
And
Now,
that's another thing.
go ahead, John.
Nah, just that's another thing. It just shows the ignorance of people. You feel me?
Yeah.
And how and actually how to deal with the ignorance of people. I'm not gonna sit here and try to beat this over your head. You feel me? Because something about to go down.
Right,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I
You
ain't
on
even
your own.
about to go through this with you. You
You're
feel
on
me?
your own.
You on your own.
You know what I'm saying?
I tried to save you from this, you know what I'm saying, Joe. I tried to save you from this man, but now you let him in the house now, Joe. So now,
Yo,
Yeah, you on your own.
You on your own now.
Hmm. Now, when the article you brought up earlier, you said that he came, you know, it kind of alluded that he came in 1911, somewhere around there.
1911. Yeah.
Now, I'm putting pieces together in my head as I'm watching this. Now, I think he, obviously he probably recruited other vampires. Now, I'm thinking that this crew that was chasing him down, they whittled
Hunted.
down his army, and he
Yep.
was the
Hunted
last
down.
one.
Yep. Yep.
Now, I kind of wish they fleshed that out a little bit more.
I did too. I wish
I
I'd have brought that
wanted to
part
get
out
a little
too.
bit more information on that. I was like,
Yep.
okay, these are some bad
100%.
motherfuckers. If they
Yep.
could just, they had him on the run.
Because they know. They know. They know more so than anybody. They connected to the elements, to nature and all of that shit. They know exactly what the fuck evil is when they see that shit, yo. Sometimes more often than not, we can't. What we always talking about, what a lot of us talk about. Fake friends, right? Fake
Yeah.
relationships. You can't trust this person. You can't, you know, you gotta
Six
trust
sense.
somebody to get, betrayed. They already know what it is. They know evil when they see that shit. For real.
And you know what I think too? I think Ryan Coogler was trying to say that the Native Americans, or we know Americans are naturally more spiritual. They're naturally
Yeah.
in touch with
Connected to
their
nature
sixth
more
sense,
so. Yeah,
nature,
than anybody else. Yeah.
and I think with that scene that he was trying to show us, like, look, man, um, you have to be connected to the spiritual side to take these guys out, man.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to set up that the regular stuff you see in vampire movies is not gonna work, man.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the silver bullets, because they tried that shit. It didn't work.
The bullets ain't really work. The silver hurt them. Fire hurt them. Garlic more so irritated them. You know.
I don't think the holy war did they do. Did they have
No,
holy
I
war?
didn't see no holy water in there.
I'm saying
They
I
can't be outside the daytime though.
They
I'm
can't
saying
be outside the
I'm saying they
daytime.
mostly use like they mostly use
With the stakes.
yeah, I'll say wooden stakes and
Did that work? The wooden
Yeah,
stakes?
that word.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it worked, yeah.
Yeah.
Always work. All across vampire
Wood,
law. Yep.
wood to the heart, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying yeah.
Okay.
A stake to the heart, yeah.
Yep. To the heart.
All right. So I think after we get introduced to our villain, we go back to the main cast. We go back to Sammy, Delta, Perlene, the twins. They it's opening night, right, at the juke
Yeah,
joint,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, the
They
juke
getting
joint, yeah, yeah.
that shit is popping.
Yeah. You forgot cornbread. You forgot cornbread.
Cornbread, oh,
Oh yeah,
big cornbread
cornbread.
at the door,
Smoke.
yeah.
Stack disrespectful ass, yo.
Everybody know cornbread. You played by Omar. You played
Then
by a guy
niggas,
named Omar Benson Miller. Everybody know cornbread though.
Omar was in 8 Mile. He was in what was that military
He was
movie?
in
Miracle Anna. Excuse
Miracle at St. Anna. He was in Get Rich or Die Trying.
me, not trying. Yeah.
Yeah, he
He
did
an
disrespect
all-star. He an
before
all-star.
Yeah, I'm saying yeah.
All-star,
I'm saying he a good character. I like him.
He's awesome, yeah.
my man. What he said? You want to make some money?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Hey, I'll get you more money, you know what I'm saying, Joe? I'll get you more money, you know what I'm saying, Joe? You can put your dick in your wife's mouth.
He said, Pecker.
yeah.
This show is rated PG. It's a rated PG
Right.
show.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all your kids listening to that, Joe. My fault.
He said Becker. And
Oh
what she say? Go ahead and get that money.
Get that bread, man. I don't care. Get that bread, man. But
but like that is smooth talking, gonna
But
say whatever type shit,
I'll say,
And
but also too though, what I noticed though, what I noticed in the movie that when his wife had heard him say that, she her lights went up. I'll say it's like she heard money. You know what I'm saying, Joe?
money.
And then Joe,
Because he was sharecropping. That's
yeah,
what he
she
was
didn't want to be
doing. He
out
was
there. You could
sharecropping.
tell she didn't want to be out there
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
deals
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit. Like, you can make a couple $100. Go ahead. Look,
Maybe you better go get that money.
get
But
that bread.
around that time, slavery had been over for like 70 some years, and niggas are still picking cotton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It was hard to make money back then, unless you was doing something illegal
They had
or
what was they calling it? Because she was talking to what was it, Annie? Annie was talking to Smoke about it, like plantation dollars or something like that.
yeah. It was
And
like
people wasn't even accepting that.
it was
And,
like secondary currency,
yeah,
you
and in
know.
certain places, yeah, people wasn't even accepting it. Like, so it
Yeah.
was rough, yo, for
And
real.
I think I forgot which one of the twins. One of them was cool with accepting it. The other was like, "Yo, this like, come on, man! Like,
Yeah.
half of them is giving us the plantation money. We need real money, man, to make this shit pop." Um,
See, I want to talk about the juke joint real quick.
yeah.
Because
We getting into that right now.
watching it, they setting it up and see how they talking about it, and their whole plan is like the juke joint is very important to the culture, yo.
Yeah,
Think about
yeah.
it. All across. Where you going, man? I'm going to the bar. I'm about to shoot to the club. You feel me? I'm about to go to the hole in the wall down the block or something like that. Like that juke joint, very, very, very important to our culture, yo. For real.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. We always needed that sense of uh
I'm telling you,
like a community, man, where we all just get together. We
no
whether
violence or nothing.
no violence, we just dancing, drinking, just bonding, sharing experiences, just letting off some steam.
Right.
That's always been important in the black community, man, because we always dealing with some bullshit, some
Yep.
type of stress. And yeah, so but you notice that juke joint was packed, man. Opening
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
that thing was filled.
Yeah.
you know. So I was
They did
scared
all,
as
they
fuck
did, they did all that in one day.
one day.
Yo, I don't forget what scene it was, but I think it was Stack that said it right. Forest by us.
Was it Stag? Let me see. Let me make sure.
Somebody had said that Forest by us, and I was like, oh, Fubu.
But we skipped over the part when they bought the building.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
the
yeah,
white
yeah,
dudes,
yeah.
the white dudes,
Say
How
right.
could I skip that? Oh
they,
shit! Let's
they
go back
was
to that real quick.
they was KKK.
Yeah. The white dude that owned the property, he was kind of disrespectful to them. He wasn't even
Yeah,
taking them
yeah. I'm saying
serious.
yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, you want to buy this joint? You sure you got enough money? Like." And they pulled out what that they had like a briefcase full of cash,
It's like a
or
little
was
duffel
it a
bag.
bag or something? A
Yeah,
duffel
yeah, it's
bag.
a bag. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bag.
They said, "Yeah, we got it." you know, um, so
And
that
then they threatened him on top of that. After
oh
handling
yeah,
the money, after they handling the money, they threatened him like, "Hey, if we see any KKK out here, you know what I'm saying? They gun on our property, Joe. Hey, we got the right to shoot."
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And we're gonna circle back to that, you know. We're gonna circle back to that after towards the end of this. So um so yeah, man. So you know, opening night, man, the juke joint is doing good, man. Got the whole
Yes.
everybody in there turning up, everybody having a good time. And I think we get to the part where Remick just pops up, man. He hears Sammy, hears the music in there. He's intrigued. Then he goes up and he talks to Cornbread, and he's like, "Yo, can I get in? Can I get in, man?" He got him and the two other the KKK couple. He turned them over. They're vampires, so he got the three of them at the door. And he like, "Man, you ain't gonna let us in, man. We play music too."
Ah, you went past one of the most important scenes in the movie, yo. When
Yep,
Sammy,
that song they were singing. We picked Poor Robin Clean. We
yeah,
picked Poor Robin Clean. That was a real song recorded by a nigga named Luke Davis. Shout outs to Lynchburg, Virginia. But
yep,
it was a real song recorded like in 1927. It was redone, and the movie went off the redone version, but the original version was done by a
yeah,
nigga named Luke Davis in 1927. He was a blues legend. Any blues fans in the comments, they gonna know who that is, though.
yep.
Hmm.
He only recorded 8 songs because studios was hard to come back then. The company called Victor Records. It was a traveling studio. They traveled all up and down the East Coast, and that's how he got on. Victor Records later became RCA Records after a while.
Okay.
He
That's good.
um, wasn't he who? So who was the dude that played the older version of Sammy? Because he was
That
somebody.
was a guy. He was a guy named Buddy Guy. He was a blues legend. He helped
Yeah,
Jimi Hendrix. Win.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yep,
won't be no Jimi Hendrix one for Buddy Guy.
yeah,
Buddy Guy, he was legit. Blues fans don't know, and he won 8 Grammys.
yep,
Buddy
yep.
Guy's a legend in this
Yep.
blues world.
But in that scene, we finally see that Sammy is what is called a griot, and I think it's pretty much more African folklore. I think it is,
Mm.
and he's able to pierce, I guess, what they call the veil with his music, and through his music, he can connect through the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah.
That's why, if you see, like in that scene was
Right. Yeah.
props,
Spot on. Yeah. Yeah.
props to Ryan Coogler, because you can see so many forms of music. You feel me? We got rock, right? You can hear trap beats. You got the DJ. You got like the 80s hip hop and the rap. Then you got the jazz, all kinds, the African drums and stuff like that, the steppers and everything. They even show Bo and Shorty ancestors, because they had like the I don't know if they was Japanese or Chinese or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know, but they had that culture dancing and stuff.
Yeah. 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 That was in that. Yeah.
And
You
because
know what all that means?
what's up?
All that means is good music can bring anybody together. That's what that means.
Yeah, and I was about to, and like in that moment, I like to think like their ancestors appeared because they was there and they was just as connected. They was vibing just like everybody else. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that is what, because they say it. We heard you all the way from. You feel me?
Mm.
We
You know
want
what
that.
though? I was a little confused about that scene. Um, I like the scene, but
Mhm.
I was a little confused about okay, where they going? What does it really mean? You know, like
Like, it's. Let me see. How can I explain it? It's pretty much just showing the connection and the power of his music and the ancestry. How a lot of people would say it, especially black people, like for real, like through everything that black people went through in this world, like music was always that thing. What they saying now, the world is burning, and black people got their boots on the ground doing line dances. You know, it was always a form of therapy and comfort for us.
It
You
got
know,
us
for a
through
lot of people,
chattel
don't get
slavery,
me
right?
wrong, for us, it was like, you know, like we always endured through music. Music was always what brought us together, like Jamal was saying, you know? Like, so I think, you know, that was um a lot of symbolism for it. And it just shows that that's what Remick was after. And it calls
Mm.
back to his father saying, if you keep playing, you feel me, like that, you gonna call on the devil, you know? And
And he
that's why I
was
was
right.
saying maybe his pops had an idea of how powerful his son's music was, but didn't really know. And we know Sammy ain't know, but
I
through
like to
all
think
that
that
I was
his
going
pops
on,
knew.
it was his power. And that's exactly what it's called, like a griot. A griot is somebody that can connect through music and other things. You feel me? With ancestral planes and stuff like that. So all of that manifested within him. In that moment, I like to think that he was confident, he was good, he was free, he was at ease. You feel me? That was his night. Everybody feeling him, he with his cousins, he could sing, and boom. And Remick was like, oh word, I want that. The allegory for cultural appropriation. You know what Remick told him? I want to connect with my people. You feel me? And you got the power to do that.
Mm.
But
Always taking something and using it for evil purposes. And you know what though? Like I think his pops knew. I think his pops knew what he
yeah,
was, man. Like, maybe he didn't know fully, but I think he had an idea of, like you said, he can pierce the veil.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had an idea. You know what? I don't think you need to be out there in the world playing your music, man. It's gonna invite trouble.
I'll say, what I kind of get from what I kind of get from that is like y'all been saying. I got like he he was like in between between okay, I'm a preacher boy, but also I want to kind of like venture off into my own thing. I want I still want to do this music. I still want to make blues.
And he was
Yeah,
free. Like that scene, like I wish I could pick Ryan Coogler's brain and wonder where did that idea even manifest from? Like, was it brainstorm? Did people pitch him something? Did he come up on his own? Because like that really shows how music truly connects us as a people, yo. You
Yeah,
got rock and roll, right? You seen a little somebody that could be Jimi Hendrix, seen a break dancer, turntables, West African dancers. You feel me? The Chinese little opera dancers that look like or whatever the case may be, like all of that. That scene was fire, man. For real.
take it out.
but right
No
after
matter
that
what
though,
culture, no matter what race you are, no matter what culture you come from, everybody can agree on it. The music good, you gonna like it.
mhm,
Yep.
yeah. And look, what happened right after that? Remick shows up with his people.
Right? Yeah.
Heard the music, he came knocking. He like, oh, what's good? We musicians too. We want to get in. How can we get in? He's plotting. He's trying to do everything he could think of to get invited in. But
Yeah.
what's the old girl Annie was like, nah, I don't trust him. Don't let that fool in. You know,
Right.
they was about to let him in, right? They was like, all right.
Now, at no point in time was they about to let them in.
Now,
Like
They were
I don't
thinking
remember,
think
about
that
it
was the.
though.
I don't think they was gonna let him
hold on,
in either.
They were thinking
only
about it.
thing the only they thought about it afterwards, and Stat was the only one that wanted to do it because he just wanted the money. You feel me? He just wanted the money. But remember, Cornbread wasn't even on that side yet. So
Right. I'll say cornbread
You know, they like,
and
nah.
they do one on the side, yeah.
Then Mary, she think,
Right. And the chick Mary, right, yeah.
I don't know what she was thinking. She went out there and trying to. I'm like, nah.
She
Mary
went
I
out
just,
there,
knew I'll say
Mary bitch. She half white and half black, and she half white and half black in real life too.
yeah.
Mm.
I'll
But
say
Mary's
So
mistake.
she went out there like, maybe my white side can get to him. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Let me go out there.
I'll say but what got me with that part, I'll say what got me was that she heard them out there singing too. She heard them singing.
Mm-hmm.
And and they they gave her some and they gave her like he did to the other, like he did to the last couple. He showed her that money and she got intrigued.
And she got turned. She
Yeah,
you know, maybe that's another thing. Maybe that's another symbolism right there. Our money, we think money is the root of all evil. It
Yeah.
would lead us down dark paths. It's like, oh, you got some money, all right, and
Because
look what
I mean,
happens.
it's funny. Like I don't even know if he wrote it like this on purpose or whatever. But so you know, they want the juke joint to make money, but it is of significance for the town. Like this is for us. You feel me? Like you can come over here after you get off of work, or you wanna like this is for us for those times, 1932. You feel me? Like we ain't even about to start, smoke. Like we ain't even about to start this already. You feel me? It's the first
Yeah, he
night.
did.
You wanna
right.
talk?
He did say,
I think the other brother, I think the other brother I wanted to wait till next
Yes,
week. Right.
exactly. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then Stat and Mary, like I was saying, they only thinking about the money that can be made. They're not even thinking of like this is for us, yo. And we already inviting,
hmm Yeah, what are you gonna say,
Right. You know
bro?
what I'm saying? We have to look. I'm saying I done went and got all these people together. You know what I'm saying, Joe? We got the fish already. You know what I'm saying? Cooking. We got the liquor already here. We got the game. I'm saying we got a little games. You know what I'm saying, Joe? Set up. Got the roulette table going. Let's
Mhm.
yeah.
What you gonna say, Jamal?
oh no, I was about to say he did say, goddamn, y'all ready to drink? Y'all ready to sweat till y'all stink?
Yeah.
Now, so I think after Mary turns, right, she goes back in the club and she seduces Stack and she ends up biting him, right? And
Yeah.
then that's where everything goes downhill, right? They after Stack turns, they end up closing the juke joint down early, and everybody just leaves, right? And then everybody starts to turn, and then this is where we get into the third act of the movie, because everything we saying up till now, this is about an hour in when
Yeah.
when Remick actually shows up to the juke joint.
I mean,
It
hold up.
hasn't been it hasn't really turned into a horror movie yet.
You can't really skip past the scene where Smoke comes in, see his brother getting, you feel me, and then his brother just dies like that. Like
Oh
that
Mhm.
scene, you get what I'm saying? Like that shit fucked Smoke up almost to the
yeah.
point where Smoke almost went out there, right? Later on, Smoke almost went out there to follow his brother. Like that scene, like that shit, like really fucked him up. And I love how he didn't hesitate, yo. How when Mary got up with the blood and all of that, he just bang, 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 just rocked it, yo. You feel me? Like, and then
Yeah.
you feel
and
me? Yeah,
that didn't
it's,
do anything. She
No.
took that to the chest.
But
like
He
see
unlocked the
why
clip on him.
we skipped the part when they was in there Jones smashing. Why are you smashing with a married woman? Sinners. That's why the movie called.
Mhm. A lot of
Sinners.
sinning going on.
Yep. Yep. And Pearline was married too, wasn't she?
Yeah, I'm saying yeah. I'm saying because I'm saying if you remember at the train station,
Yes.
she told Preacher Boy that she was married.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And but you
I
know,
know
I mean,
she was like, no, I walked up here. Let me just teach you.
yeah, okay.
Get that
All
button too.
No, I
I'm
walked
like,
up here.
I mean, Stack was
Hey,
cool on that, man. Mary was fiending
Sammy
for it.
ain't,
He was like,
Sammy ain't shit.
I'm good, man. Yo, she was fiending for that thing. I'm like, all right.
Out there deep sea diving out there.
All right. Um, so now at this point in the movie, man, it's a straight on horror movie, man. People
Yeah,
get
yeah. I'm saying
turned,
yeah.
they turn cornbread, they turn
So we not
the
gonna talk
Asian
about the cornbread
shopkeeper,
scene.
the husband, yep, he got turned.
We not gonna talk about the cornbread scene. One of
Or
the
how
most
they
popular movie.
go ahead, bro. Let's get
You
into
know,
it.
he said, your big ass coming in here all day, in and out here all day. Why you just can't come in now? Like why you know like I like that that's smart. You feel me? Like cause like in these horror movies, these people be making the dumbest decisions.
Yeah.
You feel me? For them to really be like, hold up, you've been coming in here all day, yo, without no invite. Like, what's stopping you right now? Yo, come on. You well not come on, but you feel me? Like, what's stopping you right now?
Mhm.
I'll say I would say the part that had me laughing was that he told he told the old lady like hey your fish sounds fucking my stomach up anyway and they cook with that burger
he,
grease
yeah,
and they
he
cook
said,
with
you're
that burger
out
grease.
here playing games instead of doing what we supposed to be doing. He said, and what is that we supposed to be doing? Being kind to one another. You know, like
He gave the most like suspect answer he could
Yeah yeah
possibly
yeah
think of.
yeah
I'm like,
yeah
bro,
yeah he did.
what?
he like, can I at least get my money? I wouldn't have gave him shit, to be
I
honest. I would
I would have
nah,
just you know what I would have threw it on the floor. Here, go ahead.
I still wouldn't have
I
gave him
wouldn't have
shit.
handed it to him.
Yeah, right. Throw it on the floor.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Those are some nice reflexes though on smoke that
Yeah
have man.
I
That
say
was
oh,
yeah
rocky puddle.
I say it was though yeah I say once again though he unloaded the clip again.
now you know what? Here's my question: why, if they know that the vampires have to get invited in, why didn't they just wait till sunset? Like why did they freak out and try to make a last stand? And that's
Nah,
the
they ain't
part
had
I don't
no
get.
choice. They had no choice. The Chinese lady, dumbass, invited them in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the? I'm like, bitch, what are you
She was
doing?
she she was she was there to drive the story along. You feel me?
I was like,
Yeah
come on, man.
It's a lot of nitpicky things, like because if we want to go that route real quick, if I'm Remick, I'm just burning the damn thing down.
which he could have did yeah
You
I
know,
mean, when you did that, you couldn't turn nobody else. You couldn't have turned Sammy like you wanted to. You burn him up.
burn them up
Unless,
meaning they gonna run out to try to get away from the
right I
flame.
would say right
You
I'll
know,
say
unless there's some type of maybe unwritten rule that they can't like burn a house that they're not invited in or something like that. Maybe there's something there. But
yeah.
yeah, I guess it's a little nitpicky. But I was just like, damn, why did this Asian chick have to go mess everything up? But what y'all think about the third act though? When I guess all the chaos ensued and they made their last stand.
Nah. You gonna the reveal of when Stack shows that he's on Remick's side when Remick let him know that like this whole juke joint thing, these people, they was coming to kill you anyway. You feel me? Like, like this thing, this dream that you had, it was never going to be a dream because the KKK was coming in the morning to kill everybody. And then you got Stat confirming it because like he said, I know his memories. You feel me? They all connected in a kind of have mind like way, I guess, because he like I know his memories is true. And then the white couple that was with Remick, he turned on. They had the KKK, the hoods and the clothes and stuff like that. So and then you got Stacks pretty much trying to get Smoke to cross the threshold and join them. And for a minute there, what was about to go? They had to like tap him back and pull him back. And then you got Remick pretty much telling us why he came after Sammy. Like I want to connect with my ancestors too. I've been cut off from my ancestors the same way I've been cut off. Because remember in the beginning when they was trying to be friendly, when they asked him, "Y'all clan?" Remick was like, "Yo, maybe a lot of things." You feel me? But you feel me? But that I am not. Like his reaction was like he took offense to it.
Yeah.
And then
that was like beneath him. He's like, nah, I ain't.
like what? Nah, nah, sir, please. You feel me? So, and then Remick also tried to appeal to Sammy, to all of them, really. Like, yo, I'm like one of y'all. My people was persecuted as well, which they were. You feel me? And then in the future, they were starting to look like low class citizens even more, and stuff like that. Until they changed all that shit for their own reasons. That's another discussion though. But so Remick really tried to appeal to them through some type of history in a way, and then the fact that he wanted to reconnect with it. He said it throughout the movie why he wanted Sammy. I want to reconnect with my ancestors, yo. You have the power to do that. I'm cut off from them. You feel me? I don't know why. Maybe he's a vampire. Maybe he lived too long, right? Maybe all his people that he remembered before he got turned into a vampire, they all dead. His arrival was in 1911. If we going, by the article, it's 1932 now. He's seen and heard and seen that Sammy can connect with the past, present, and future through his music. Stacks already said he confirmed the KKK plan. But Stacks said I can see his memories, so I'm guessing like if Remick turned Sammy, he can either use him to do it or he will have the ability himself to do it.
Well, that begs the question, right? If they keep bringing this up, like this ancestors, now I'm thinking, and then he throws in the scene of Remick falling from the sky like a fallen angel.
Yesterday. We said
Oh,
that. I don't know.
could
Let's
it be possible that maybe he's talking about
see what your grandma.
maybe some divine
And
connection that he's cut off from? That's got me thinking,
That could be too. That could be too.
So I'm like, that'd be, that'd be, interesting, because like there's a lot of layers to this movie because we got the racial angle, we got the spirituality, we got the class system going on here, rich, poor, we got wealthy, unwealthy, we got
we got survivor's guilt with Smoke.
right here.
Because Smoke definitely has survivor's guilt.
Yeah, he did.
He was military, right? Ex-military.
Yeah. He had
kind of put me in the vibe of a zombie movie too, especially when they stood up and decided to fight. because
Yeah.
most zombie movies, we realize we in trouble now. All right, let's all get together, figure out what we need to do. Let's all get on the same page. We all enclosed and locked in. That's zombie fan right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey yo, y'all remember the scene where they thought this was fucked up too? Where they thought the dude was dead, and they were trying to figure out who probably would have bit him or something. So they all
Oh,
had to like, eat the garlic.
yeah. That part was funny. Yeah.
That shit was messed up. The dude wasn't even
Yeah.
dead. He was just drunk, man.
Yeah.
He died, man. That was fucked up.
You know, when that part happened, when Grace and invited all the vampires inside, I I kind of wish they explored the hoodoo aspect of the movie more. Like instead of going with the typical things that we see people using these vampire movies, I wish they would have leaned more towards the spirituality things and
Hmm.
practices and maybe tried, that'd have been like, I mean, look, the movie is still good, but I think that would have been more interesting if they would have incorporated that more when they were
Yeah.
fighting the vampires. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Cause I'm saying, I'm saying, by me watching it, yeah, I kind of wish they did kind of interpret that in just a little bit. I was saying, cause I'm like, all right, okay, now they out there,
She
they trying to come in. You know what I'm saying, Joe? All right, now we got this voodoo chick here with us. You know what I'm saying, Joe? She might know what I'm saying, Joe. She might know a little something that can help us out just a little bit.
that's that's I think that's kind of what it was. Like, like I was saying, it was very subtle and it wasn't really a lot, but we learned that the hoodoo actually did play its part because she actually knew the most out of everybody
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
you know. She at first thought that he was a zombie, a hate. I think she called it or something like that, right? But then she was like, oh nah, that's a vampire. Once she realized it was a vampire, what she do? She went and got the little garlic stuff and threw it on him, and it burned Stack face, and he ran out. She let them know, Silver bullets and stuff like that, it'll slow him down, but it won't kill him. You feel me? The garlic will slow him down, but it won't kill him. Fire, wooden stake to the heart. Like, she let them know everything that she knew about it. So, and she only knew about it because she practiced hoodoo. She well versed in it. So it was subtle. It could have been more, maybe in like an
Like,
offense fighting type of way,
yeah, like
Yeah.
I
But
wish there was something she could pull out. Said, look, man, if we take such and such and we put it to, yeah, we throw this on them, it'll disintegrate their arm, and we can, you know, that'd have been kind of cool. I'm like, but it still was good though.
you want to
That's
find a
just my
more,
nitpicking.
you want to find a more Marvel.
Yeah, so man, that'd have been, I was like, look, we already kind of leaning it into the spirituality. Let's really go all the way with it. you
But
know.
can we all just roast Grace for a minute?
Oh, she was dumb as hell. I was like,
I
what
just threw her ass out. The moment she suggested some dumb shit, I threw her ass the fuck out. The moment
uh,
I realized I wouldn't have been able to convince Grace to shut the fuck up, I would have threw Grace straight out. Go ahead, go be with your husband. Bye. Cause now
Yeah.
you
But
feel
but
me?
I can't understand why she kind of like sound your side wild out a little bit. I was saying if you remember before she started wilding out like she did, uh, uh um the little vampire Joe, he kind of said something about it. He like, oh, you stay at such and such you stay at such and such, oh, and you got this such
I
and
go
such
get
job right here.
you.
yes, you know what? He basically said, I know where your kids are.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what threw her over the edge. But still, like, that they can't move in the daylight. So you just have to,
Yo,
just hold
look,
tight.
man. If you want to go and
Yeah.
save your kid, I can't stop you. don't
Right, true.
engage all of us, yo. You want to go save your kids, but you telling them to come in here.
So I
You
know
know
you just
what?
saying fuck us, and it's all about
Yeah.
you.
You know what I think she was trying to do? And this is me thinking now. She thinking, look, I'm gonna call them in. While they all distracted, I'm gonna make my way out of here, make it to the car, and I'm gonna get to my family. And like, fuck
Nah, she was ready, bro. I ain't gonna front. She was ready though. She was about it. She wasn't one of them people that called them in and people, you feel me? Like she had to run and people had to protect her. She launched the Mazel Tov. She missed that shit though. But she
Yeah, I'm saying
was
yeah, yeah, I'm saying
straight,
yes, yeah, I'm saying yes.
she
She missed the
was
cocktail.
straight for her husband, yo, and rocked that nigga, yo, stabbed him and she burned to death. So I respect that because he said he was gonna go after her kids. You feel me? You know,
yeah.
she was straight at him and she killed him. So,
Yeah,
no, she wasn't scary. She was just stupid.
yeah.
She was just dumb.
I
like
think ultimately
like
that was the
Thanos
plan,
said, so
though,
it's
to
been
make it
told.
to that car and get the hell up out of there.
Hey, yo, and pulling back the fourth wall a little bit, it's little shit that irritate me, right? Like you said, the last stand. Who the fuck was the two dudes that got killed? Like, where the fuck was y'all the whole time?
What do you? Wait,
Which
I'm
one?
just,
In the last stand, it was two randoms, the NPCs got killed. And I'm like,
oh,
who are these dudes and where was they the whole time all of this shit was going on? Like, what the fuck? Come on, man. You gotta, if you need people to die, at least have them acknowledged in a few scenes. You don't gotta give them no lines. You feel me? Because I'm like, who the fuck is he? you
We
know?
call them creative players, just
Yeah.
you know.
That's a little nitpick. That's a little nitpick.
Man,
What you think about Grace, Jamal?
Grace, you said Grace.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, she could get up out of here though. But yeah, I appreciate what she did. Like Thanos said, soul for a soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what
She
would have
did.
been funny though? You know what? This could have been a funny scene in there where she's talking that nonsense about maybe whatever she was talking about, and we cut to a scene outside of the spot, and they just you just see her throwing her ass out.
Jazz her. Uncle Phil jazz her ass, yo. Get
Yeah,
the fuck out of here.
he said I'm pure jazz.
Yo. That's real
that'd been
shit.
a
Get
funny
the
ass
fuck out.
scene, man.
I'm telling y'all straight up, I would have been the first one ready to kick Grace the fuck out of here. You showing us, like, y'all read the room. She about to crack, yo. She gonna kill everybody. She gonna get everybody killed, yo. Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought she was gonna do something crazy to get everybody smoked, but
I'm saying when
She
she was
got
running that,
everybody smoked,
yeah,
man. Everybody, I mean, Smoke didn't die behind that, but everybody else did.
yeah.
but eventually, somehow, some way, we get to Smoke beats Stat. He ends up killing his brother.
Mm.
And then we get to the part where we got Sammy, we got Smoke, and we got Remick left. And
Stacks didn't kill his brother. Smoke didn't kill Stacks.
he didn't.
They didn't kill each other.
How'd he die again? Wait, how did Stacks
I
die?
think with the fire.
Smoke died. But Stacks didn't kill Smoke. Did you catch the ending?
it
No, I
was it
mean
was like
no. I mean, because I know the twins were fighting at the
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, they were fighting at the
Upstairs
end.
joint, yeah.
Yeah, all they did was, they spoke, they talked and stuff. He was like, I'm sorry I couldn't save you and all of that. But remember, they just cut to Remick and Sammy, because remember Delta Slim died. He pretty much sacrificed himself for nothing. You feel
I'm,
me?
I feel what you're saying,
Pauline,
but
Pauline died
also
to save Sammy.
also too what Gary was talking about though, they did kind of like obsessing in the in the
On that,
spot.
yeah, on
Yeah,
that little
they was
top
upset,
thing.
right? They was up there fighting.
Yeah, they fought.
Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. And went to Sammy and Remy.
Right.
And
Yeah,
Remy pretty much fucking up
Oh, okay,
Sammy.
okay.
You know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the ending. I was like, wait, hold up. It was a lot happening at the end, but then we get to outside, right? It was outside. They was in the water, and then we got
Mhm.
Smoke, Remick, and we got Sammy. And then for some reason, Sammy still had his guitar with him
yeah.
throughout this whole madness. He still had his guitar.
Mhm.
He wasn't letting that thing go. Um, and
I'm gonna call you little girl.
what happened? What happened to?
He rocked.
Because I know he got stabbed in the heart with the
Yeah,
guitar,
he
right?
got. What happened was, Remick and Sammy was trying to get away. Remick gave him that scar, like that first. What's his name? Rock. He rocked. He gave him that scar, whatever. And Remick got him. Monologuing. What villains
Hmm.
do. You feel me?
Yeah,
Monologuing and stuff like that. And like you said, he never let that guitar go. And it's funny because the guitar, his music is what brought them, right? And got him in all of this shit. But it ended up being his salvation as well.
Hmm.
Because he rocked shit out of Remick with it. And like the little silver part of his guitar, because it was somebody's famous,
It
some
was a blues
famous.
singer, right? Famous
Yeah.
blues singer.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he got mentioned in the movie too. Like earlier
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said that was his guitar and stuff, but
Right. Uh,
Sammy
uh.
rocked with it.
I'll say the two brothers had one and two. I'll say the two brothers had one in a poker game, and they gave it to him.
Yep, which he found out later it was a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, he rocked them, and that silver part, I guess, got stuck right there. Remix shit, and he pulled it out, but it gave Smoke enough time to get to Sam, and he won. I think he the one who dealt the death blow, and
Yeah.
then he was stabbed up and all fucked up. Then the sun came up. You feel me? And cause it was like a hive mind thing. Because like when they felt Remick's, when Remick got hit, all of the vampires felt his pain, and they
Yeah.
all for a minute, and they was all fucked up for a
It
minute.
was like the Borg from Star
Yeah,
Trek. Yeah, they all
yeah,
felt it. Yeah,
yup. And then
I'll
the
say,
sun came up, and
and finished
I,
it.
yep.
I'll say, but also too though, if you notice though, from all kind of vampire movies, that if anything happened to the if anything happened to
The
the
main
first
one.
person, then
Yeah,
it's like a train.
yeah, yup.
Yeah. And everybody gonna feel my pain.
Exactly. So
And that was
so then after that though, Smoke sends Sammy off. He said, "Oh, I'm good. Just make it home. Just get up out of here. I got
mhm.
this." And then
Then I go to church.
go to church, man. Go to your pops. Take the car, man. Just get up out of here. And then we see Smoke, right? He goes, I think he goes gets starts loading up his guns.
Yeah.
Cause I think he knows what's coming. He knows, all right, they gonna show up. I got something
Mhm.
for him. The KKK gonna show up,
Yep.
and it was a lot of them that showed up, man.
Yeah.
That old gang.
Boy, Smoke ex-military, and he
Yeah,
got a
that
huge
was
chip
nothing
on.
for
Yeah, and he got a huge chip on his shoulder, man. Dude just
him.
battled vampires and shit. They ain't stand a chance.
I
Nah.
think I think I think the KKK do that shit quite often. They rent their property out to black
Mm-hmm.
folks and come. come back and kill him because remember when they bought the club earlier, it was blood stains on the floor. He asked about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good point.
Another significant thing was before they came, Smoke took the mojo back off.
Why do you think he
And
took it off?
I mean, she said that, that was what was protecting him this whole time. Maybe he started to believe it. I mean, after the shit that he saw, right? You got to believe in some type of good now, you know?
Yeah, man.
So, but he was probably ready to go. His brother was a vampire. His, the woman he loved died. His brother killed her. Then he had to like really kill her so she wouldn't come back. You feel me? Because she made him, she made him make that promise.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
ready to go. His daughter was already gone. Smoke was ready to go. Smoke made a decision. So if he started to believe that that was true, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm about to take as many of these motherfuckers out with me." Because he did not have to go. He could have left.
No,
Just like
no, he didn't. No. He really did have to go. No.
there was nobody to protect. The juke joint burned down pretty much. You get what I'm saying? There was, he didn't have to do that. That was pretty much, like shit. You know what? This gonna be the way that I'm gonna go out. You know.
And it was a beautiful scene because we get to see through his eyes. He gets to see, I guess he saw through the veil. He saw his wife. He saw his child, and in that moment, he was at peace. He
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm good now. And then you
Right.
got the dude begging for his life. He's like, "Oh, just spare me. I'll give you whatever you want."
What the
He's
fuck
like,
know
"All
that?
right, I'll give you something though." He got a bullet to the head, and
For real.
I think that was a beautiful scene. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You see
then we
what
get.
you
Hmm?
can
And
hold this.
people got to peep. Smoke had asked. He had asked the dude for a cigarette because Smoke can't roll cigarettes. Stack used to roll the cigarettes for him.
Roll him, yep. Because he got the shakes. Yep.
Mm, that was a good point.
And to Jamal's point, when he's in the shop, he's not with Stacks, so he's smoking out of a pipe.
You see, you know what? I gotta rewatch it again, man. There's certain little clues I missed, man. Little tidbits in there.
So
Yeah,
So then we get to the end. We get they skip ahead 60 years later. Sammy is wait, no. Does he go back to the church first? He goes back to the church and then
yeah, he went
we
back to the
skip ahead.
church.
Yeah.
The church, and his father's telling him to let the guitar go, but I don't think he ever lets it go.
Nah, he can't now. He's attached to it, man. Um yeah, then we skip at 60 years. Sammy's basically look like he's in his 70s. Um Look like he's successful blues player, doing his thing. And then we meet up with uh Stacks and Mary, right? And they haven't
Yep,
aged. they still look the same.
yep. I
So
like that.
yeah. So I don't know, like they could set up a sequel if they wanted to. If Ryan Coogler really wanted to, they could do another one.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
that scene.
He said he not bro.
But
I like how
what y'all like about that scene?
because we didn't know if Smoke killed Stacks or not until that scene. Like we all just thought that Smoke killed Stacks. You feel me? Like we never actually seen his death. So, but what was cool was when Sammy like, when the bodyguard come in like, yo, somebody want to see you, whatever. He like, yeah, whatever. And then though at the dude when he says y'all can come in, and Sammy look, it's like that. You feel me? I don't know
Uh
if it was PTSD or but he just y'all could come in. and in comes Stacks and Mary. You feel me? Like, and then we found out that the only reason why Smoke didn't kill Stacks was because he said, if I let you live, you let Sammy live, pretty much. You feel me? And
Mm.
Stacks was like, yeah, I guess Stacks took that deal and stuff. But then, he told Sammy, still listen to your stuff. You feel me? And like if you want, I can make this shit go away forever.
Yeah, it gives him an offer.
Because he looked at him or smelled him or whatever, and he realized that, Sammy was on his way out the door, pretty much. You feel me? And he was like, you ain't got long now, do you? He was like, I can make that go away. You could talk forever and stuff like that. And Sammy like, nah, I'm good. You feel me? Then Stacks asked him to play that old shit, the same song that he played when he was riding with him. That was pretty cool. And I like how Sammy, was like, before all of the bullshit happened, that was pretty much the best day of my life, yo. You feel me? Like, it was cool. Yeah.
I like that. I like that scene, man. What do you think about it, Ma?
Yeah, I fuck with it, man. I just want to give a shout out to Buddy Guy, man. A lot of old school heads or a lot of blues heads might know who Buddy Guy is. Man. He's a fucking legend for real. He influenced guys like Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton. Dude, he got a song called Born to Play Guitar, y'all into the blues shit. But he got 8 Grammys, man. And he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He a legend for real.
That's who played the older version of Sammy, y'all. Buddy Guy, yo. Salute.
Go check out his music, man. So I enjoyed that scene. I like how they kind of circle back to it, man. Um they showed that Stacks and Mary's still out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said they could easily tie this in a Blade, man. I don't know, I could see it. But
no, man, that's like a universe.
That's just my own fan fiction, my own headcanon.
Yeah, I feel you.
I like the way they ended this movie, man. So let's give it how many popcorn bags y'all gonna get this one, man? From 1 to 5.
Give it a solid 4.
4 popcorn bags. All right. What you think, Ma?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
4. All right. Hey Wes, how many popcorn bags you giving this movie, man? From 1 to 5. 4?
4.
Damn, 4. All right. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with a 4.5 on this one. 4.5 bags, man. It subverted a lot of my expectations. So I'll give it a 4.5. So man,
great movie, man. The horror culture, you feel me? Lore.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy. We had some nice comedic spots. We had some horror spots, emotional moments. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff I guess people could resonate with. That brotherhood, that friendship. Stuff like that.
A lot of symbolism, a lot of hidden messages in this movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of, the greatest thing about this movie, I like the fact that the characters weren't dumb. Like in typical horror movies, they're like, "Oh, just let them in." Now. They were thinking.
Yeah, they use their common sense for real. Like they really use their common sense.
Yeah.
Coogler and Michael B. They got a lot of good stuff together, man. They got Fruitvale Station, the whole Creed saga, Black Panther, and now this.
They got good chemistry.
They shaping up to be, a part of that great director actor duo where you got, Scorsese and De Niro. You feel me?
You got Samuel Jackson and
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yep. Yeah.
Go hand in hand.
Spike Lee and Denzel. You feel
Mhm.
me? Like they really shaping up to be that great, you know,
Great duo, yeah.
great duo for real.
Oh, one more thing before we go. I don't know if we touched on this, but shout out to Michael B for playing two roles,
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
and he
roles.
did his
definitely,
thing.
definitely
Yeah,
salute that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
not an easy thing to pull off, to play two different characters in a movie,
yep.
twins, and make them
With two
actually
different
different,
personalities and
distinct.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So shout out to Michael B.
He had
Um,
great chemistry with himself.
exactly, exactly. So there you have it, folks. So on the next episode of Black Popcorn, we're gonna do a throwback episode. We're gonna go to Juice.
Woo.
We're gonna go to the street classic from the early '90s with Tupac Shakur. Um, we got Omar Epps, man. We got a young cast, but a very powerful
Yeah.
movie. We're gonna touch on that.
So
Yeah,
many images in that movie, man. That movie was, yeah.
We're gonna do a nice deep dive in that one.
Mm-hmm.
So look out for that one for episode 4. We're gonna do Juice.
yeah,
And episode 5, we coming to Superman. So look out for that, y'all. All right, so
so
Black Popcorn, we out of here, folks.
we got 2 bangers for y'all coming up.
Yes, sir.